Remember when Vegas respected the regular guy? When blackjack paid fair odds, slots were loose, dealers were real people, and the games were honest? Those days are dead and buried. The casinos that built their fortunes on guys like us have systematically rigged every single game, eliminated human dealers, and mathematically stacked the deck against the very people who made them rich. You've been betrayed, and it's time you knew exactly how they're cheating you. Let's take a deep dive and explore what's really been happening in the Las Vegas casino scene. 1. The slot machine swindle. Let's start with the backbone of casino revenue, slot machines. And here's the truth that'll make your blood boil. The slots have gotten significantly tighter, especially in the past few years. According to the Nevada Gaming Control Board's 2024 data, slot machine win percentages averaged 7.2% in 2024, up from 7.16% in 2023. That might sound tiny, but when you're talking about billions in handle, that difference represents millions more taken from players' pockets. But here's where it gets really insidious. Penny slots and multi-denominational machines, the games most regular folks play, have become dramatically worse. The return to player, also known as the RTP, percentages have steadily declined, particularly for the machines that attract casual players rather than high rollers. Remember when you could find 98% return slots at places like the Riviera? Those days are gone forever. Now you're lucky to find anything above 90% RTP on the penny slots, and many hover around 85 to 88%. That's a house edge of 12 to 15%. Highway robbery disguised as entertainment. The real kicker? Modern slot machines can have their RTPS adjusted remotely over computer networks. According to industry insiders, casinos no longer need to physically open machines to tighten them up during busy periods. They can literally turn the screws on you with the click of a mouse from a central computer terminal. What's worse is that strip casinos consistently offer the worst slot odds. According to American Casino Guide data, penny slots on the Strip return approximately 88.38%, while downtown returns 88.97%. Compare that to Boulder Strip Locals casinos at 90.49%, still terrible, but it shows how Strip properties have systematically screwed their customers. And don't get me started on the psychological manipulation. These machines are designed by teams of behavioral psychologists to keep you playing longer. The near misses, the false celebrations, the bonus rounds that tease big payouts, it's all calculated to trigger the same dopamine responses as cocaine. 2. Blackjack Betrayal, the 6-5 epidemic. Now let's talk about what might be the most insulting change to hit Vegas, the systematic destruction of blackjack. For decades, blackjack was the thinking man's game. With basic strategy and a 3-2 payout on naturals, you could play against a house edge of around 0.5%. It was honest gambling. Skill mattered, and the math was fair. Then corporate greed infected the game like a virus. According to ABC News and gaming expert Mike Aponte, member of the famous MIT card counting team, casinos began systematically changing blackjack payouts from 3-2 to 6-5. Here's how badly you're getting screwed. On a traditional 3-2 game, a $10 blackjack pays $15. On the new 6-5 games, that same hand pays only $12. This single change nearly quadruples the house edge from 0.5% to 1.9%. According to Vegas Advantage, the shift towards 6-5 blackjack has been dramatic. While specific historical table counts vary, their current surveys show that most strip blackjack tables now pay 6-5, with 3-2 games primarily relegated to high-limit areas, with $25 to $50 plus minimums. But here's the most insulting part. They didn't do this universally. High rollers in the exclusive salons still get 3-2 games. It's only the regular players, the guys who've supported Vegas for decades, who get stuck with the inferior rules. As Aponte explained to ABC News, "When I first started playing, the rules were the same throughout the entire casino for the most part. Now, the rich get richer with better odds, while working-class players get the shaft." 3. The death of live dealers. Here's the change that really shows how little casinos care about the traditional Vegas experience. They're systematically eliminating live dealers and replacing them with machines. Just this year, the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino, the oldest continuously operating hotel in Las Vegas at 119 years old, completely eliminated all live dealer table games from its casino floor. Every single table game is now electronic. According to Derek Stevens, the casino's owner, this isn't an isolated decision. It's a calculated move based on profit margins. Stevens said, "Younger customers want to play slots a lot more than they used to, and people love these electronic games." But here's what he's not telling you. Electronic table games have worse odds than live games in many cases, and they eliminate the human interaction that made Vegas special. The trend is accelerating across the city. According to industry reports, the trend toward electronic games is accelerating. Properties like Eastside Cannery, Texas Station, and Fiesta Henderson never reopened their table games after the pandemic, and Golden Gate completely eliminated live dealers in 2025. At Circa, Stevens replaced the second-floor live dealer games with electronic versions and claims they've exploded in popularity. But what he means is they're more profitable. Electronic games require no dealers, no benefits, no breaks, and can operate 24/7 without human labor costs. The writing is on the wall. Stevens predicts that live table games will become more of a high-end luxury thing, reserved for big spenders, while regular players get herded toward machines. Think about what Vegas is losing. No more friendly banter with dealers, no more learning from experienced croupiers, no more human energy at the tables. Just you, staring at a screen, pressing buttons like a lab rat. 4. Table minimum madness. Remember when you could sit down at a $5 blackjack table any time of day? When craps minimums stayed reasonable even on weekends? Those days have been systematically eliminated. According to Vegas 411's recent analysis, table minimums have skyrocketed across all games. What used to be standard $5 tables are now $15 to $25 minimums, even during slow weekday periods. Weekend minimums routinely hit $50 to $100 at strip properties. This isn't market forces. This is designed exclusion. They're literally pricing out the regular player who built Las Vegas. Here's the insidious math. If you used to play $5 blackjack with a $100 bankroll, you could play 20 hands and ride out normal variants. Now, at $25 minimums, that same $100 only gets you 4 hands. One bad run and you're done. The few remaining $5 tables, they're almost exclusively the 6 to 5 blackjack games with terrible rules. Want fair odds? You'll pay premium minimums for the privilege. Craps has suffered the same fate. Finding a $5 craps table on the strip is like finding a unicorn. Most start at $15 to $25, and during busy periods, you're looking at $50 plus minimums. Here's what really shows their contempt for regular players. They've moved lower limit action to electronic machines with worse odds than the live games. They're herding casual players toward inferior gambling options while reserving the decent games for bigger spenders. 5. Roulette gets a third zero. If you thought blackjack manipulation was bad, wait until you hear what they've done to roulette. Traditional American roulette already had terrible odds with its double zero wheel giving the house a 5.26% edge. European single zero roulette cuts that edge in half to 2.7%. So what did Vegas casinos do? They made it worse by adding a third zero. The Venetian pioneered triple zero roulette, and like a cancer, it spread throughout the Strip. According to Vegas Advantage, triple zero roulette first appeared at Venetian in 2016 and has spread extensively. By 2019, there were 25 triple zero tables in Las Vegas, and today every Las Vegas Strip casino deals triple zero roulette. Here's the math that'll make you sick. Single zero roulette has a 2.7% house edge. Double zero bumps it to 5.26%. Triple zero roulette pushes the house edge to 7.69%. They literally made the worst major casino game even worse, and players didn't revolt because most don't understand the math. 6. The continuous shuffling machine conspiracy. Here's a change that really shows how casinos have eliminated any possibility of player advantage: the widespread introduction of continuous shuffling machines, CSMS. CSMS constantly shuffle discarded cards back into play, which means card counting becomes impossible. The composition of remaining cards never changes. There's no such thing as a rich deck anymore. Basic strategy becomes less effective in some situations. Traditional blackjack used shoes with cut cards, which created natural variation in the remaining deck composition. Skilled players could gain tiny advantages by tracking high and low cards. CSMS eliminate this entirely. Every hand is dealt from a statistically neutral deck, removing the last vestige of skill from the game. The casinos claim CSMS speed up the game and prevent cheating, but the real reason is simple. They guarantee the mathematical house edge works perfectly on every single hand. 7. Video poker destruction. Video poker used to be the smart gambler's slot machine, with perfect play, full-pay jacks, or better returned 99.54%. Better odds than almost any other casino game. Those days are over. Casinos have systematically degraded video poker pay tables to eliminate the player advantage. According to Gene Scott's analysis, finding full-pay video poker on the Strip is nearly impossible. The Wizard of Odds has documented how video poker returns have declined steadily over the past decade. Games that once offered near break-even gambling now have house edges comparable to slot machines. Even worse, many video poker machines are actually slot machines disguised to look like cards. They use random number generators rather than true card deck probabilities, making strategy completely worthless. The few remaining good video poker games are hidden in high-limit areas with $5 to $25 minimums, pricing out the quarter players who built the game's popularity. 8. What they don't want you to know. Here's the inside information casinos desperately don't want regular players to understand. Remote manipulation. Modern slot machines can be adjusted remotely in real time. Casinos can tighten slots during busy periods and loosen them during slow times, all controlled from a central computer. Algorithmic targeting. Electronic games track your play patterns and can adjust volatility and near-miss frequency to keep you playing longer. The games literally adapt to manipulate your behavior. Comp rate deception. The switch to electronic games allows casinos to reduce comp rates since machines cost less to operate than live games. You're getting worse rewards for worse odds. Data mining. Every electronic bet generates detailed player behavior data that casinos use to optimize their manipulation tactics. They know exactly how to extract maximum money from your specific gambling patterns. Progressive jackpot manipulation. Many progressive jackpots are networked across multiple casinos, making the true odds of winning virtually impossible to calculate. The displayed jackpot amount often doesn't reflect the actual probability of hitting it. 9. What this means for you. So what does all this gambling manipulation mean for the regular Vegas visitor? First, understand the math. You're playing against worse odds than any previous generation of Vegas visitors. The house edge has increased across virtually every game. Second, recognize the technology trap. Electronic games aren't convenient. They're designed to extract maximum money with minimum human interaction. Third, adjust your expectations. The Vegas that offered honest games with real dealers is gone. You're now gambling in a mathematically hostile environment designed to separate you from your money as efficiently as possible. Fourth, vote with your wallet. Seek out the few remaining properties that offer fair games and live dealers. Support downtown venues and off-strip locations that haven't completely abandoned traditional gambling. Fifth, become an educated player. Learn the difference between 3 to 2 and 6 to 5 blackjack. Understand which games still offer reasonable odds. Know when you're playing against a machine versus a real dealer. What's your gambling story? Share it in the comments below. Tell us about rule changes you've noticed, electronic games that replaced your favorite live tables, or properties that still offer honest gambling. We can raise awareness together about what Vegas gambling has become versus what it used to be. 10. The few remaining honest games. To be fair, not every casino has completely abandoned honest gambling. Here are the few bright spots. Downtown properties, the D, Circa, and Golden Gate, before going all electronic, maintained some reasonable minimums and fair rules. Off-strip locals, casinos, Station Casinos properties, South Point, and other locals joints still offer better slot returns and reasonable table minimums. Palms Casino recently returned to 3-2 Blackjack, showing that some operators recognize the value of treating players fairly. High limit rooms still offer traditional games with fair rules. If you can afford $100 plus minimums. Downtown craps. A few properties still spread $5 craps with decent odds bets. But these exceptions prove the rule. Fair gambling in Las Vegas has become the exception, not the standard. The Las Vegas you fell in love with, the city that offered honest games with real dealers and fair odds, has been systematically dismantled by corporate bean counters who see you as nothing more than a mathematical equation to be optimized. Every rule change, every electronic replacement, every minimum increase represents a betrayal of the relationship between Vegas and its loyal customers. They've taken your decades of loyalty and repaid it with mathematical manipulation and the elimination of human interaction. But knowledge is power. Understanding how they're manipulating the games is the first step toward making informed decisions about where and how to gamble. The Vegas loyalists who built this city deserve honest games, fair odds, and real human dealers. Until the corporate masters remember that fundamental truth, keep your eyes open, your wallet protected, and demand better. What gambling changes have you noticed in your Vegas visits? Have you watched your favorite live dealer games get replaced by machines? Share your story in the comments. Let's raise awareness together about what Vegas gambling has become.